with that down though, let's get into the first thing here. And like I said off the top, we're gonna do a quick Mortal Kombat sort of review. I will warn. I'll probably. Here's the thing. I'm gonna warn for spoilers, but I'm not really gonna get into like what happens really. But in the end, I kind of told John and Rick this before because they hadn't seen it. Like it's not a very spoiler discussion type of movie because it's just more it's Mortal Kombat. It's just it's what you expect from Mortal Kombat. So I don't really know what everyone's definition of spoiler, Rick, is like so different too. So like
Yeah.
I could say, Sub-Zero and freaking Scorpion fight and they'll consider that a spoiler.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like
I mean, you see it in the trailer.
yeah, you see that in the trailer anyway. So it's like it's blatantly not a spoiler. But that's why I'm gonna warn for spoilers, even though I don't know how much of it's like I'm not gonna reveal like the entire plot or anything like that. It's just gonna be a quick review. Rick hasn't seen it, so I'm not gonna. I'm sure he doesn't really care too much about
No.
spoilers though. Anyway,
No.
so but like I said, in my opinion, there's really not too much to spoil unless I gave away like plot by plot what was gonna happen, which I'm really not gonna do. Because I mean, if anything, I guess I'll start there. The plot is probably kind of the weakest part of the movie.
Really?
Yeah, just because and with like again, without getting too much into it, I guess I did warn for spoilers, so this is why I did that. But the plot and my biggest gripe with it is that there is no Mortal Kombat. There's Mortal Kombat in the sense that they fight and kill each other and whatever, but there's no tournament. And that's my biggest complaint. Like
Yeah.
I want the Mortal Kombat tournament. Like that's
Not just like random fighting.
yeah, and like and I guess too the odd thing about it is they do mention like in the movie specifically, in the lore, in the rules they explain in their own movie, they do mention that it's like illegal for like the outworld or whatever or any realm to interfere with the rules of like Mortal Kombat outside of the Mortal Kombat tournament. So like Shang Tsung can't send Sub-Zero over to Earth Realm to start killing people. That's against the rules. But that's exactly what happens. Like that's literally what happens. So like they say like you're not allowed to do that, but then they do that and there's no consequences for it.
Yeah, it just happens.
It's like that's literally just what happens, which is I don't really care about that, but it's just kind of stupid. And the only reason I don't like it is because again, there were no consequences to it, really. Like if it would have all like led to like there was going to be a tournament, but because the people from Outworld, Outworld, Otherworld, what the hell is it called? Not Outland, because that's World of Warcraft.
Outer World,
And then NetherRealm is where Scorpion's from. Like it's like hell. Is it Outworld?
I have no idea.
I can't remember. I just watched. I watched a movie. I played every goddamn one of these games. I can't remember what the name is. But either way, I'm gonna say Outworld. Let's go with that for now. Correct me in the comments, like I'm sure you will if I'm wrong. But either way, if there were some consequences to the actions of like them doing that, it would have made more sense. But elsewise, the movie itself was just like that. Like
a lot of action.
Like Sub-Zero was sent over by Shang Tsung to kill everybody, kill all of Earthrealm's heroes, so they can't compete in the tournament and forfeit. Because if you lose 10, they set up in the movie at least if one of the realms lose 10 straight tournaments, then the Outworld people or Outland or Otherworld, whatever the hell you want to call them, this is going to bother me. It's going to come to me at the end of the show. But if they were to lose this, if Earthrealm was to lose this 10th tournament, then that other world is able to invade and pretty much take over Earthrealm. So
well, that sounds fun.
Yeah. So the whole that's all the kind of the whole point, and this is a thing that also is like kind of doesn't make any sense, right? So Earthrealm has lost 9 straight, right?
Right.
Why the hell does Shang Tsung and them think that all of a sudden they're gonna win this next one?
Right.
Like just beat them like you have the past 9 years, dude. Like, all you have to do is beat them, and you're good.
Right.
Because honestly, the fact that Shang Tsung sent Sub-Zero over to start picking people off beforehand is what made them all come together quicker and learn how to like summon their arcana, get their powers, and then beat y'all's asses. Had they just waited for the tournament to happen, they would have won. It would have just they would have just won again. Like no one would they wouldn't have got together. There wouldn't have been a sense of urgency for Cole and like Kano and Sonya and all these people to get their arcana and get it all done. Like it wouldn't have happened. So like literally Shang Tsung and his goons, their whole plan to sabotage Earthrealm completely backfired on them, theoretically speaking. It's like the odds were in their favor because, like I said, they won 9 out of the last 10 anyway. So it's kind of stupid.
That is,
Like,
yeah.
But otherwise, though, the good parts about the movie were like the fights were good. Like
I'm sure, yeah, the action was probably insane.
yeah, the fights were good. Like the Sub-Zero and Scorpion stuff was probably the best. I will say off the top though, Scorpion is not in this movie like really at all. In all honesty, like he opens the movie and then he closes the movie.
That's weird.
He's not just in it. It's not
He's
about
like a
him.
major character.
Yeah, and that's probably my biggest. Other than like the plot points, the worst part of the movie is the characters, in the sense that like
That's promising.
well, they're like the characters are good. Like some of them are good. Like I told you on stream, like surprisingly, Kano and the actor who played Kano, dude killed that. Like
Yeah.
he made Kano was the most interesting and cool character in the damn movie.
Which you wouldn't expect.
No, you definitely wouldn't. But it was all about the dude's charisma, how he played him, just the things he said. Like he was a dick. He was like just a slimy little sleazeball dude, and he was
Yeah.
awesome at it. Like you know, he was great.
Good at
Like
being an asshole.
yeah, he was a perfect Kano. Like he did a really good job. But then like they focus the story around this Cole dude. Like he's like your main character,
Yeah, who the hell's Cole?
but he's so flat. He's so boring. Like they don't really like I said, Kano's awesome, and he's not the main character. But like without Kano, I really don't know how enjoyable the movie would have been. Like it still would have been cool for the Mortal Kombat stuff, like all the
Yeah.
fight scenes and the gore and stuff. Like that's all there. Like if you just want to watch it for fatalities and stuff, like that is there, and that's all good. Like that's good.
Right.
It's just they focus on the Cole guy who's kind of boring, kind of one note, stereotypical. Like he's just a. It's the stereotypical thing where he's like the chosen one dude.
Yeah.
Like he's the chosen one, but he can't get his powers. And then in the moment of crisis, he gets his powers, and then he wins. Like that's it.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing crazy. You know what I mean? It's not like groundbreaking.
Sounds so basic, just like
It was
plot-wise and-
like that part was, and they just didn't give him really anything to really do. Like,
yeah.
like, and it's I don't know. It's just kind of
Other
like
than be there.
yeah, he had no life to him, as opposed to like I say, like Kano was very like enjoyable to watch. Whereas like I didn't mind the Cole character and the guy playing him. Like I thought he was fine. He was just boring. They didn't really give him anything to do.
Yeah.
Like and like the fight scenes were good. All the stuff he did and it was good. It's just like
They didn't write a good story for him.
yeah, they didn't. They just didn't spend enough time with him. Even though the movie centers around him, they didn't spend enough time like for you to get to really know him. He's just kind of there, and you're following him, but he's not very interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense. Like,
No, I get it.
like it's not bad by any means. Like, I definitely would recommend watching the movie, especially if you're a Mortal Kombat fan. And after seeing the movie, I'm excited to actually see like I want them to do more. Like when just recently, I can't remember his name, but the guy who was in the raid and he played Sub-Zero in this, like supposedly he is signed on to do 4 movies,
Damn.
like 4 more movies, if I'm remembering correctly. So if not, it was 4 total or 5 total, one of the two, either way. So like he signed on to do 4 or 5 movies. So presumably speaking, with the way this one ends, the next one should actually have the true Mortal Kombat tournament. So I want to see that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like that's I like
It's Mortal Kombat. I mean,
yeah, and that's the thing too. Like the other characters were good. Like what they like your Scorpions, your Sub-Zeros, your true Mortal Kombat characters, they were all done well. Like granted, Liu Kang and Kung Lao were kind of also pretty boring. Like they were just kind of like there.
yeah.
It
I've always
wasn't-
thought they were kind of boring anyways.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't their movie. Like that's kind of the problem is that like they didn't focus on they focused on this Cole dude, but not the
Who the hell's Cole?
yeah, not the Mortal Kombat characters, which I thought was odd.
Yeah.
Because the girl who played Sonya was really good. The dude who played Jax was really good. So like Sonya and Jax, they were fine. Um, I don't know. Maybe they should just focus more on them and not had the Cole dude in there at all. And like the next one's like Johnny Cage is in this one, and like it's not really even a spoiler. Like the director said that before, and they said that there is kind of like a tease about Johnny Cage
Yeah, I
at the
wanted to hear
very end
about
of the
that.
movie. Um, but he said that like Johnny Cage was like too big of a personality to put in the middle of this, and I can see what he was meaning based after now seeing the movie.
Johnny Cage is like a main character. Like,
Yeah, and like that's kind of like I feel like maybe they should have honestly done that though. I don't know. Like I feel like it
could
because
have been a
John.
different direction.
If you're familiar with the lore, maybe they didn't wanna do it too because they thought it'd be, like, retreading too much ground because that's what the original Mortal Kombat was. Even though Liu Kang was, like, the main character of that movie,
Yeah.
on, like, the human side of things, it was Jax, Sonya, and Johnny Cage.
Mhm.
Like, that was the core group, and then
Yeah,
Liu
yeah.
Kang met up with them, essentially, and then the movie progressed. But maybe that's another reason they didn't wanna have Johnny in. I'm thinking maybe they wanted to actually get, like, a big like, I'm still sitting on this Ryan Reynolds playing
That
Johnny
would be
Cage.
cool.
He would
He's kind of a big
destroy
name
it.
for
No, that's what they would need for it, man, I'm
to,
telling you,
like, really make it take off.
yeah, and he'd be perfect for the role. I normally don't like doing fan casting stuff like this, but I I'm just look me in the eye and tell me, if you're familiar with the Johnny Cage character, that Ryan Reynolds is not the perfect choice.
He would be very good.
The perfect fucking choice for it, dude. He'd be amazing, and he can do combat stuff, like all the action stuff. He can do it. He fights good. It would be really good. But I would love to have seen like cocky ass Johnny Cage in a freaking pissing match against this Kano guy. Because
Yeah.
like I'm telling you, the dude who played Kano was just spitting gold all the time.
Yeah,
Like
just
everything he said was awesome. And I would love to have seen Johnny because Johnny Cage is a very similar personality as the Kano. Just
Yeah.
big, loud, boisterous, kind of douchey dude.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
just a very different way. Like one's a complete asshole, the other one's just kind of
Like a
self-indulgent.
cocky
Yeah.
yeah.
And so I would have actually loved to have seen those two like on screen together. Would have been really cool. But then again, like going back a little bit, it probably would have been better for them to have Johnny Cage be the main character, because if you're familiar with, like, at least the recent Mortal Kombat stuff, like, Johnny Cage is, like, the dude. He won, like, the what was it, like, Mortal Kombat 10 or something? Like, he won the thing? Like, he
Yeah.
won the freaking tournament. He was like a god. Like, as far as his arcana or magic, his key shit went, like, he was like he w became a god or some shit. Then in
Right.
this most recent one, like, Liu Kang, like, fused with fucking Raiden and became some, like, dragon lightning lord. Like, it was weird. But yeah, I don't know. It would've been cool to see Johnny Cage in there because of the way they did this Kano character more so than anything, and then if they had the right guy in there. You throw Ryan Reynolds in there, Johnny Cage, I'm there for it. But elsewise, though, like I said, everything was good. The story could have been a little bit better, could have been a little bit more ironed out. I'm kind of bummed there wasn't actually Mortal Kombat, like tournament wise. That's other than like that, and then the characters in general being like kind of flat, like the main ones that you follow, kind of flat. But it's mainly just because the plot was kind of thin, I guess. But like Goro actually looked really good, I thought.
Yeah. I'm
Like
sure they could do much better with Goro nowadays
yeah, like
versus, like
he wasn't as good as Thanos, but there were some scenes where like they did like he looked really good. There were
yeah.
other scenes where you're like, yeah, I can tell he's CG, but then other like you can see like the freaking pores on his skin and like the
Sure.
ripples on his like they did a really good job with it on such a low budget. I think they did a fantastic job with how Goro looked personally. They used him kind of stupidly though, I will say. They just like send him there to like, I don't want to like spoil everything, but at like, did you say you wanted to hear the Johnny Cage thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so at the very, I'm talking the very last scene. This is pretty much what could or even should have been a post-credit kind of scene. Is like they all, Earth Realm obviously defeats the forces that Shang Tsung sent over to ambush them and like kill them all prior to the 10th tournament and everything. So at the very end, like Raiden, or I think it was Raiden says like, our work's not done yet. We have to, you know, find more fighters, right? And
Yeah.
like get the rest of them. And so it
Assemble
ends like
squad.
that, and then it has Cole back at his gym where because he was like a fighter himself, like in like the real world stuff.
Yeah.
And so he's like there cleaning out his locker and leaving, and like the guy who runs the gym was just like, where are you off to? Like whatever. And he's like, Hollywood. And he's like, you know, why are you going there? He's like, and he says like, not why, who. And then it pans to a poster of a Johnny Cage movie poster, and you just see like
the Johnny Cage is coming.
Yeah, you just see like he's wearing a big ass Cage belt buckle, and it's like a title, and it says Johnny Cage like on the post. It doesn't show his face or anything, but it's like, so Cole is going to Hollywood to recruit Johnny Cage. Is how the movie ends.
Yeah,
that's the final scene of the movie. So
that's pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah. So the next one, like I said, I'm really excited for the next one because seems like the tournament will actually take place. Based on what happens with Sub-Zero at the end, we should be getting some Noob Saibot, which I want some of that.
That would be great. That would be great.
And then because of what happens with all the current Shang Tsung baddies that were there, and because like some certain people died, I'm pretty sure Shao Kahn's gonna be pissed off. He wasn't in the movie, but because some people died in this one, he should be pretty pissed off. So
Yeah, he's not too happy.
Yeah, he'll be a part of the next one, I'm sure. And that'd be the same for Earthrealm. Some people died. Like, well, actually, one person from Earthrealm died. So I don't really. There's only one person who's mad about it. So yeah, and then but everything was cool though. The way they explained the like Arcana and people having powers and like why they have them, et cetera, et cetera. All that was good. But I'm excited to see because, like I said, everybody besides one person from Earthrealm died. We know Johnny Cage is coming, but curious of who else they're going to throw in there because like they had some major players on the other side who died, like Cabal, Melina, Goro, who else was that? There was, I don't remember the character's name, but there was like a vampire bat looking lady there. She died.
A lot of deaths.
Yeah, so I'm curious of what that Reptile died. But
did they say fatality?
I think someone did at some point, and then someone said, I think someone said flawless victory at some point, and then when Kano ripped Reptile's heart out, he said like Kano wins. That was in the trailer.
Yeah.
But the thing is too, with Reptile, that may not have been Reptile because they said send in the reptilian, so it may have just been like one of the reptilian race of people.
Yeah.
They weren't like blatantly clear.
Specifically saying this is the character Reptile.
Yeah. So the real quote unquote Reptile may still be to come, or that may have been Reptile. Who knows? Kind of open ended. But that being said, I'm curious of who we're going to see in the next one because there's still some big names that weren't in this one, like Smoke,
that would be
cool. Who else? Who else wasn't there? I mean, there's a lot of people.
Like Cyrax,
Shao Kahn. Yeah, none of the robots were in there. Cyrax or the other one. Yeah, I can't remember his name. But yeah, so I'm curious to see where it's going to go because we got, like I said, Johnny Cage is coming. My guess is Shao Kahn is coming, and then based on the Sub-Zero stuff, I'm pretty sure Noob Saibot's coming. They did show Shang Tsung take someone's soul, so I guess maybe. No, that was the one person that died on our side. So I'm hoping Ermac comes next time.
Ermac would be cool.
I love Ermac.
Noob's my favorite, but
yeah. Well, Noob is just dead Sub-Zero, so
yeah.
And that's why I'm saying, like, obviously Sub-Zero died. And then, the thing is with Cole too, since we're doing spoiler stuff here, and obviously they all in these games, even all these people come back all the time. Like some do come back as other characters, like Sub-Zero comes back as Noob Saibot, but I mean Sub-Zero is still in the freaking latest game. Like they just keep redoing stuff. But the dude who played Sub-Zero, like I said, he signed on to do 4 or 5 movies. But he dies at the end of this one. So it's like they're either just gonna come back as Sub-Zero again, or he's gonna come back as Noob Saibot.
It'll be interesting to see how they do that.
Yeah, one of the two. And so it's like kind of the same with who knows, like with like Kung Lao, who died on the Earth side. I think he was the only one who died. He might even come back somehow. Like at this point, like who knows? Oh yeah, like Cabal. Like Cabal is one of the main guys there too. He died. Like from the bad guys. Like Kano died. Everybody died. Like
A lot of
so,
death.
so I'm just like, who the hell's going to be in the next one on the bad guy side? Because a lot of them died.
Everybody's dead.
Like, I mean, there's still plenty of other characters, but those were some of your main ones, like Cabal, Kano, and I mean Shang Tsung's still there, but Oro's gone. Like I don't know. So curious to see. Is there anything else that you have like question about before we move on?
Not really.
'Cause that
I
was
think you covered it all. I mean, there's only so much you can really say about it, you know.
yeah, and I didn't really like I said, I did give like obviously some things are spoilers, but with this kind of movie, like I said, Sub-Zero died at the end, but the guy signed on to do 4 or 5 movies. Like, and that's the same with all these characters. They always come back in some way. Like,
Yeah,
this is worse than a comic book movie. Like,
right.
they literally die in very graphic ways, but then they're just back for the next one.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it just is what it is.
That's
So
like how Mortal Kombat is, I feel like.
that's what I'm saying. So it was like, I don't really feel like it's gonna be too spoilery. Like it's kind of like yeah, the people died, but they're just gonna come back. And there's not really any stakes to it. And
Yeah.
like I said, Sub Zero is either gonna come back as Sub Zero or he's gonna be Noob Saibot. So one way or another, a dude's in there for 5 movies. So I don't know. But in the end, I would say that it is a good movie. I liked it. The story was kind of flat, like I said. I didn't like that there wasn't an actual tournament. Like that was kind of nah. And then if they could have just gave the characters a little bit more life, like they did with some, like I said, Sonya and Jax were cool. If they would have like had more of them instead of how much they had of Cole, or made Cole a little bit more interesting instead of so like run of the mill stereotypical, just your classic character needs to get his powers, and then when he does, he wins the fight. Like it's kind of like giving him the connection to Scorpion wasn't really enough to make him interesting. Like, yeah, it's like cool, but yeah, they could have done more with it. So, question is though, have you seen Mortal Kombat? What did you think about it? And please correct me in the comments about Outworld, Otherworld. I'm pretty sure it's Outworld. Now that I'm thinking about it, Outworld sounds right. But I could definitely be wrong because I still am kind of blanking on what the name is. But if you've seen Mortal Kombat, let me know what you think down in the comment section below.